My name is Hannah Preston. And the day my grandfather handed everyone in the family a $5 million check was the day they laughed at him, until they realized I was the only one who believed him. Christmas at Grandpa Walter's Montana cabin always felt chaotic, but that night felt different. He didn't ask us to come, he commanded it. When I stepped inside, everyone was already arguing, complaining, mocking the cold and the drive. Then Grandpa stood up slowly and handed each of us a white envelope. Inside mine was a $5 million check. The room exploded with laughter. Fake, my dad barked instantly. Cute prank, Walter. Aunt Linda rolled her eyes. Uncle Bruce laughed so hard he nearly dropped his drink. Everyone waved their checks around like pieces of trash. Everyone except me. Something about Grandpa's face told me this wasn't a joke. And before I tell you what happened next, if you enjoy powerful emotional stories about betrayal, truth, and justice, make sure you subscribe now. Because stories like this prove that the people who laugh first don't always win. Later that night, Grandpa pulled me aside and whispered, "Hold on to that check. Don't lose it." The next morning, while everyone slept, I drove to the bank. My hands were shaking as I slid the check across the counter. The teller smiled, then froze. Within minutes, the branch manager escorted me into his office. He studied the check carefully, holding it under the light like it was something sacred. Then he looked at me and said the words that changed everything. "This check is real." My heart stopped. $5 million. Real money. Not a joke. Not a prank. Within minutes, my phone exploded with calls from my family. Somehow, they already knew. When I returned to the cabin, they were waiting like wolves. "Give me the receipt," Dad demanded. "That money belongs to this family," Aunt Linda hissed. Funny how the same people who laughed at Grandpa last night were now demanding his money. Before the chaos could explode, Grandpa walked into the room. "You all mocked me," he said coldly. "But she didn't." He pointed straight at me. "Hannah believed me. Hannah respected me. And now the truth begins." The next morning, Grandpa didn't wake up. He passed away peacefully in his sleep. The grief crushed me, but my family didn't cry. They only asked one question. What happens to the money now? 3 days later, his lawyer gathered us in a small room. And that's when everything exploded. Grandpa had deposited exactly $5 million into a private trust and wrote checks to each family member. But only one check could be activated. The first one deposited. Mine. Everyone else had thrown theirs away. They didn't just lose money. They failed his test. The room turned into chaos. Screaming. Accusations. Rage. Then Grandpa's letter was read aloud. The money was never meant to be shared. It was meant to reveal the truth. Hannah was the only one who respected me. That is why the $5 million belongs to her, and only her. That's when the real war began. Within days, my entire family sued me. They accused me of manipulation, fraud, even elder abuse. They blasted my name across social media, calling me greedy, calling me a thief. But Grandpa had prepared for that too. Medical reports, legal records, video messages, proof that he made every decision clearly. When the case finally reached court, the judge reviewed every piece of evidence. And then came the ruling. The check is valid. The inheritance belongs solely to Hannah Preston. Gavel down. Case closed. I won. But victory didn't feel loud. It felt quiet. Because in winning, I lost every person who once called themselves my family. Weeks later, I packed my bags and left Montana behind. I moved to a small mountain town in Colorado, quiet, peaceful, far from greed and noise. I bought a small cedar cabin. Nothing fancy. Just enough. Now every morning, I wake up to mountain air and silence instead of arguments and accusations. I work at a bookstore, drink coffee on my porch, and listen to the steady ticking of Grandpa's pocket watch. And sometimes when the wind moves through the trees, it almost feels like his voice reminding me of one simple truth. Greed destroys families, but respect reveals who truly deserves everything.